Welcome all back to my channel, to Daz TV. As you can see, I'm happy today. I'm still full of smiles after yesterday's big result. It was 3 points, it was 3 goals, it was a clean sheet. It was a perfect start in many ways for the Reds. And yeah, it was just unbelievable, really. I didn't think we got out second gear, so it was great to have went on and got, as I said, a perfect start and a really convincing victory. Very comfortable all around, I thought, yesterday. And as I said, in second gear, we didn't make hard work of that. So today's stream's going to be a little bit different than match previews or match reviews. It's going to be talking to the YouTube legend in LAZER LFC. His name is Chris. So Chris is going to come in today and share a bit of a story, how he became a Liverpool fan. And then obviously save the best to last. At the end, it's going to be his greatest ever Premier League 11, in his opinion, who he thinks. We bring him in now.
Yes,
Chris, how are you, bro? LAZER LFC. LAZER.
I think all the people want to hear it.
LAZER in the house. Great to get you
in, bro. It's a pleasure to be on, man. Thank you so much for inviting me. And I know we've had a lot of hiccups. Guys, this is something that should have been done a month ago. It should have been episode 1 and at least 4. But due to family commitments, sickness, a whole host of other problems, it just didn't happen. And now we're here today.
We're here today. Sunday fun day. Let's get it done.
Sunday fun day, as you like to say.
Happy, obviously, LAZER yourself. As I was just saying, the intro there, that yesterday, 3 goals, 3 points, clean sheet, all round, very comfortable. What did you make of it yesterday yourself?
Oh, brilliant stuff, man. It was good, very, very good. Much needed 3 points. Because I think the key, if we're going to regain the Premier League title, we have to get off to a fast start. Now, when I watched the boys in the first half, there wasn't so much pressing, and I assume. Big up to my reminiscence life. That's my wife.
Reminiscent life. Big up to reminiscent life. Yeah.
Yes. But so I assumed, right, Klopp, what he's going to do is get the players to conserve a lot of energy for the long campaign, because when you think about it, it's going to be a long haul this season. Norwich had a lot of possession in that first half. We didn't pin them back like we've done in previous games in this, previous seasons when we played the lesser teams. We sort of made them come at us and see if we can hit them on the break. But when I looked at the bench, we've got options now in central defence. And I think a lot of Liverpool fans have to just have a bit of patience and have faith in Klopp. We've got a good team. As long as they can keep fit, we can go places. And I thought it was a very comprehensive victory yesterday.
Yeah, and look, even in the build-up to what Klopp was saying about sometimes the other partner seems to be great and nothing is beautiful or perfect, you know what I mean? And like, he just doesn't. He's the type of man, he doesn't feed into the media, feed into the panic amongst fans. He's a man that knows what he's doing, and he's had us just obviously with that intensity, energy, but what he's implemented to Liverpool is never give up, never say die, roll the sleeves up, and you can see they're going to do that. And he's not, like, he's gone for a particular type of player that if he can get, he'll get. If not a big deal.
He will leave it. That's how Klopp works.
And I know that can be frustrating for fans because everybody wants that fancy new toy. You see City after winning the league last season by a country mile, and now this year, they bring in Grealish that they don't really need, bring in Kane. But with Klopp, there's a lot more to it than that, and it's not just he's not just going to go out and do that. I'm not saying he's going to also refuse money if he has that Alice Helm, but he wants to do things right, short term, long term, obviously, the club that he loves. Shout out there to Finners and that.
Big up Finners, man. Respect Finners.
Well. Big up, John.
Yes, John Conway.
Showing
love.
Shout out to you all there.
Yes, guys, smash a like, man, and show some support to Daz TV. But as you alluded to, Daz, right, all about the shiny toys. I think it's a case where it's a psychological thing. A lot of the fans are looking at City and saying, hang on a minute, they're splashing the cash. Look at Chelsea. It's like when you're a kid and you're at school and the kids have the latest trailers, the latest video game consoles, and you feel left out. But when you think about it, we're building for the future. We're doing it the right way. Yes, we're a bit disappointed that FSG hasn't put their hands in their pocket and spent a bit of cash. But with Klopp, when he has an eye for a player, he waits until he gets that player, and then maybe we'll get the second choice. But I think we're definitely going to make a signing at the end of this window, so I'm not panicking yet.
Well, there's players that's going to leave, so when players leave, that means there's more room for players to come in. There's more cash there. There's way for us to spend. As Klopp said, look, the cash is not a problem and they spend whatever they earn, and I truly do believe that. But I mean, he's just waiting, isn't he? He's biding time. We're probably going to be in talks and agree a deal with somebody that we haven't even been linked with. But you can see the media now, a couple of lads out the Athletic and Fabrizio that always breaks the news on Twitter. The little bit. They don't know what to be saying now because they're not being told anything, So
Yeah.
it's really smart, and it's great what Liverpool are doing. Obviously, great recruitment as well. So, Lazer, into the I suppose nuts and bolts of today. Today is obviously about the podcast.
Yeah.
So why did you for anybody gonna tune in now live, and big up to obvious do or later on gonna watch?
Yeah, big up to all the viewers, man.
Yeah, big shout out to all you, and keep dropping in the comments there. And any questions, obviously, why we've Lazer on today, the legend. Why did you set up LAZER LFC TV? And I suppose, what is the short-term and long-term plan for it? Or is there anything like, and where did the idea come from? Because obviously I came across it on social media through YouTube, and I seen you with Fozzie at a lot of the England games there in the Euros, and you were at Wembley, and he's a great audience, a lot of great interviews. You got one with the Don Bobby channel from the Arsenal Fan TV. So that sort of stuff didn't go unnoticed. What made you, I suppose, get into this? Obviously, being a Liverpool fan, I'm sure that was some behind it.
Well, basically, you know what it was? If I'm going to be honest, I've wanted to do this for a while, for a long while. I was thinking, should I do a YouTube channel and discussing things about Liverpool? And you know what it was? I wouldn't say it was the confidence, but I had a lot going on in my life. Because as you know, most of you guys know, I do music. That's my other thing that I do. I'm a very creative person, and I've got a family, so I've been busy. And it's something I've been putting up for a while. And you know what made me finally just go for the push? The COVID pandemic. There was time on the hands, I wasn't having as much work as I had before, due to the pandemic. So I thought, you know what? Should I go for it? I was talking to my mate now, and I was like, what do you think? Should I do this channel thing? There's nobody from Birmingham representing on the YouTube, especially Liverpool fans. Most of the content creators seem to be coming from London, what I've seen. You know what I'm saying? So I thought, you know what? I'm going to do it. So I think my first thing I did was a viewers review video for Copish. And I was a bit nervous. I ain't going to lie. It's a bit daunting when you're coming through the camera for the first time. And I thought, you know what? How did I do? And my mate was like, LAZER, you will smash it. Because what it is, when I talk to a couple of my mates, that are Liverpool fans, we will be on the phone for hours, for ages, just talking about Liverpool, talking about the old days, because I'm an older fan. So I thought, you know what? I got nothing to lose. Set this channel up. So I would say within a month, it went down well. Like, I've had good feedback. I didn't expect the feedback, what I've received. I haven't got many subscribers, but there's a core fan base amongst us that are really in tune to each other, show support. We do collaborations. I've seen you previously on Copish TV and the Cop Talk, and I thought, you know what, I want to reach out to you. So I sent you a message. Do you remember, Daz? And I was like, you know what, should we do some work in the future? But the short term was about having a bit of fun. Just showing my love and expressing my creative side for Liverpool, doing something different to what other people ain't doing. But as it's gone by now, we're talking, that was March, I set the channel up right at the end of February, and I was doing a video once every other week. It wasn't lives to start with. It was actually post-match videos. Then I started to get a bit more creative with the green screen and stuff like that. When you see my initial videos, they just set up in my living room. Very basic. Thank you, Daz. Thank you.
So, and I've always said that to you. You're very good at the creative stuff and the content. And we'll obviously introduce something later to this stream for people when it comes to your greatest all-time Premier League 11, and we'll show some of a small bit of creativity that you do, which is unbelievable. Ladies. I'm fair play to that.
Cheers, man. So basically I was getting good feedback, and I thought, you know what? Let's see if I could take this a bit further, So obviously I've done stuff on Copish, and I've linked up with different content creators, And to be honest with you, everything's just been good feedback. I've been overwhelmed. If I'm going to be really honest, from the bottom of my heart, I have been so overwhelmed. The feedback I get, it's not like we're talking thousands, it's a couple of hundred, couple of people,
and a good core.
Yes, the community. And it's good. They're saying you're very good at what you do. You're creative, you're unique, you got the energy, the charisma. So I thought, why not go for it? So my long-term view now for this season, I plan to be more consistent, get more content out, and I actually want to start going to a lot of Liverpool games because I don't really go down to Anfield. So that's the long-term plan, interviewing fans and just build a fan base and get people familiarised who I am. Also with Fozzie as well, because I do the work with him at UFT. My good friend Fozzie is a good guy.
Shout out to Fozzie there.
Yeah,
Fozzie's
big up Fozzie, man. Big up yourself, Fozzie, man. LFC Red forever. So yes, people, so that's the plan, just to take it as far as I can and be consistent within the community and see where it goes, See what comes of it,
Yeah, no, and look, you're doing a great job, as you said, and like it's not all about like if people are going to subscribe, they're going to subscribe. But once you have enough core, you have enough support and enough following. I know for you, from talking to you before, it wasn't about just doing your own thing solo. It was about interacting with others. It was about having that engagement and that networking, and that's really what it's all about. And having those, giving your opinion on it, you know what I mean, and on different channels as well. Because you can, what can happen is you can get too much of a following and you'd be overwhelmed by it.
I know
you just can't keep up, and then it's no use either, is it? So,
and that's the scary thing, does like I've only just started. I'm nobody, you know, compared to the likes of Dan Robbie, Cop Talk TV, the Redmond TV, Anfield Agenda. I'm nowhere near their level, but sometimes I get messages and I can't bloody deal with it. I'm like, I can't reply straight away. I've got commitments going on. I have to get back to this. I can't do it today and this, that. But my plan is to just set a schedule, set time aside to be more consistent, because there have been times I'm going to be like, so I've slacked, I've dropped away, and people are like, where you been, Lazer? Some of it is family commitments, sickness, and I just haven't had the time, you know, when you just get back and chill.
Course,
so man,
no,
I love doing it.
It's a big commitment, and you can tell you love doing it. And obviously, getting you on here today is a pleasure, Lazer.
Cheers,
so where can people find you? It's on obviously Instagram and
so basically, people can find me on Instagram at LAZER_LFC. It's as simple as that. You see my logo. It's big laser, right? With the LFC and a ball of fire. You can't miss it, guys. I'm on Twitter, but I'm not really active on Twitter. I plan to get active this season. Twitter is Lazer2126. You can catch me on the various platforms as well.
There we are. Twitter, Instagram, and on YouTube. Obviously, if you type in LAZER LFC.
You see all
this great content and video coming up.
Cheers, so man. I appreciate that, man.
Big up to you, bro. Big up to you, bro. You've done all the good work. How did the journey for you start? Obviously, as you said, you're one of the old Liverpool fans, so obviously been supporting Liverpool a long time, through a couple of decades, I'd imagine. How did you first become a Liverpool fan? And did it come through family roots, or just being with friends, or just your own choice by looking at them on TV and they impressed you?
Well, to be honest with you, it was TV. You know, it's a weird one because, you know, I don't know if anyone knows. You probably could tell by my accent. I'm from Birmingham, the West Midlands, right? So we have a few teams. We have Birmingham City, West Bromwich Albion, that's on the borders, and Aston Villa. Now, I had a lot of people in my family that supported Villa, right? So when I was younger, I didn't really have a set team. If you know what I mean, I was just going through the motions. I watched like little bits on TV and that with my uncles. There was one family member that liked Liverpool, but most of the people in the family was Villa. Couple of Man United fans as they got older, you know, the little wee nippers then. So when I used to see like the games on TV, which was very rare, I remember I used to go to my uncle's house and he had satellite TV, and satellite TV was expensive back in the day. It was, you know, not many people could afford that and have it. You know what I'm saying? I had the good old 1, 2, 3, 4 channels. That's how old I am, people. 4 channels, you know.
Was, back in the day as well, I remember that.
There was BBC no preview, man. Yep. So, I used to see them play on TV. I remember seeing like John Barnes, Jan Mobley, players like that. I remember thinking, this team's sick, you know, like there was just something that drew me to Liverpool. Very special team, very unique. I think when I first seen them, like vaguely, I think it was like 91, the 91 season. I didn't really pay attention when the last won the league in 90. I think Arsenal won the league that year, and then they started changing. If you remember, Dalglish left, and as soon as coming, so he was bringing new players in like Dean Saunders. And I remember thinking, a good team, man. This is a good team.
Walters,
like, that's it, Mark Walters. This is for Birmingham. Mark Walters is. I went to school with his nephew. So man. So I was saying, I was in and out watching him on TV from about 91, 92. I didn't properly start supporting him when I thought, boom, this is it. I'm choosing Liverpool. I love Liverpool. Like when it was the 95 season, 94/95. So you had the likes of Robbie Fowler coming through, Steve McManaman, Steve Wright at the back, Razor, Neil Ruddock. You know, you had Rod Jones as a right back. You know,
very good
John
right
Barnes,
back,
obviously.
Jones,
yes. It's a shame.
Very unlucky with injury stuff.
Very unlucky and very unlucky. You know, and then you had John Scales coming through. You know, but Robbie Fowler, you know, his application to the game, the way how he was deadly in front of goal, the way he would just score the goals. I remember I think if I'm right, he got the first fastest hat-trick at the time against Arsenal. That was it, And I just thought
Mane went on to better then.
Another Liverpool player. So it goes to show that was special. But I just thought, you know what? This is my team, man. But at the same time, I used to get slacked off like, oh, why are you supporting Liverpool? You're not from there, man. You're from the Midlands. Choose a, a Birmingham team, support Birmingham City or support the Villa. And I just didn't pay no notice of it. I wasn't hardcore at the time, but it was sort of like, this is my team. You know, I would love to support them and see what it's about. But in them days, it was like impossible for me to get down there. Do you know what I'm saying? I was young, didn't have much money. It was just a thing where I watched them on TV and just followed them from there. So I would say from about 95, 96, then I started to watch them hardcore on Sky TV. Used to watch them. We signed Stan Collymore that season. If you remember, Stan Collymore.
Yeah, I do.
And I thought
the Newcastle game 4-3. And
that's it, Daz.
Yeah.
Classic game. And that was the game that signed and delivered it and sealed it for me. I thought, bloody hell, this team never gives up, never say die attitude. We went right to the end. Yeah. We had a little sniff at the title, but in all honesty, it was between Manchester United and Newcastle that season. But I loved the way Liverpool applied themselves. We were playing fast attacking football. At the time, the manager was Roy Evans. If you remember people, those that remember Roy Evans, and he implemented the three at the back. Then we had the wing backs. We had Jason Mcateer as well, was signed from Baltimore. But yeah, we were playing lovely football. So I used to have a few books, read up on the old Liverpool, you know, like the 80s team, because I was too young to remember that and watch them play. And I thought, this team's phenomenal. When I read the honours, I was led to believe, as a lot of Man United fans believe, that football was invented in 92, that Man United was the big team. So when I've read the past honours for Liverpool, I'm seeing that 18 league titles, such and such Champions League. Whoa, we're the biggest team in England. And I thought, that's the team for me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, an unbelievable team. That was probably the start of the decline, though, wasn't it? Just the year.
It was. Yeah, we
won that first league. Soon after come in, we won the League Cup then, but it wasn't. I think we beat Sunderland and the FA Cup, wasn't it? I think
FA Cup 92, Mark Wright.
Speaking of getting to Liverpool, there's a cousin of mine, Gavin Hannon Gaggy. Please don't stop the music. That was a song we had when we went to a few games. Back in the might have been 2006-07 season, we went to a couple of games and over there. So the Rihanna classic "Please Don't Stop the Music" was obviously one of the
that was Rihanna's early days. That was
so that was something we enjoyed going over on the boat on and the Cashel cider, and good memories though there. But Gavin's bringing up "Please Don't Stop the Music," still the biggest as well.
Please don't stop the music. Yes, Fuzzy. Liverpool is the biggest club in the world.
You is right. So look, that was that's I suppose probably where some of the next question comes in. What are your first memories of football? Would it be, Lazer? Would that be like a lot of that would come in where you grew up? There was Villa, there was West Brom, there was Birmingham, but mainly Villa and Aston Villa and Birmingham, but then you chose Liverpool, and you've just obviously answered there the reasons why. So
another thing I forgot to say as well. I remember very vaguely seeing all the stuff to do with Hillsborough. And I remember the people crying and hearing about the deaths. And it touched me, even for a young kid at the time. It touched me, and I thought, this club's definitely special. It's a special club. You know, they were on the news a lot of the time. We're talking like night in night. Because my first memory of football, going on to your next question, was vaguely Italian 90, you know, that. I remember it very, very vaguely.
Who won that Italian 90?
It was Germany. Germany won it. If I'm right, they beat Argentina in the final.
I think so.
They were the defending champions, Argentina. England got knocked out in the semis. I remember all the kerfuffle with Gaza crying and stuff like that. But that was vaguely. But then, I would say Euro 92. I remember watching that tournament because if I remember, the Olympics was on that year and it was Barcelona. The Olympics was held in. I got a lot of memories of 1992. So, yeah, man, I remember seeing that. The advent of the Premier League with all the Sky stuff. And I remember just seeing like Villa, because Villa was actually a good team in the early 90s. I remember they won the European Cup in the 80s. They got relegated and they got promoted under Atkinson. Ron Atkinson was managing them at the time. And in all honesty, they should have won the first inaugural Premier League. You know, my uncle was gutted at the time. He's like, no, because they finished second. For people that don't know, it was actually Man United won it, then Villa was second. You know, so those are my memories. And like I was saying, just watching games here and there, you know, and then seeing Liverpool play. And it was just the attraction to seeing the team play in all red. I just thought, this team's just fire. Like, do you know what I mean? The way they played football. Yes, Ali, we are the biggest and the best in the world.
Fozzie's just confirming there was Germany in 1990.
Yes.
And Fozzie's world, rest in peace.
Gerd Muller.
Yes, that was 41 years ago, really.
R.I.P., Long time, that's what I'm saying. It shows my age. I'm an old man, you know, but I'm young at heart.
Young at heart and look young. That's what we like.
Cheers, that's man.
Yeah, so what that be your first memories? What's your, I suppose, look, this goes down to whatever games you're at live or whatever you watch on TV. What's your worst, and then obviously your best memory of football? But I think we'll start with the worst and then end it on a more positive note with the best.
Okay, yeah,
So,
that'd be better.
you know, like, and
Yeah,
it's look,
yeah.
I suppose it's this is just your opinion. Someone else, one of your worst memories might be nowhere near.
I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to be as honest as I can. My worst memory of football, I'll start first with the basic one, then I'll get to the worst one. Right. Started getting into football, you know, I was a young kid and that. And then Euro 96, I was gutted when England got knocked out. Shed a little tear. You know, I remember all the hype being in our home country. You know, I remember games were played at Villa Park at the time, you know, because we're the host nation. I think there was a few games at Anfield. It was all over. I think Amsterdam was playing at Villa. So I remember coming from school and seeing loads of Dutch fans in the city centre of Birmingham. And I just thought, wow, you know, when you're over thinking this is a big thing. You know, you had the song out at the time, it's coming home. That's how long it is being people. 1996, yeah.
England were at home. There was they were never going to lose already, and then it happened. And just like it did at the last championships, you know.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was gutted and devastated at the time. I'm thinking, wow, because I think England, that was one of the best chances. The team we had under Terry Venables as for England was a very good team. You know, we had Sheringham up front. You know, we had Shearer, very good quality players. And the squad as well plays that. Yes, Tony Adams at the back, Seaman in goal. You know, we had Paul Ince in the midfield area. We had an amazing team.
Southgate was as well, was involved.
That's it, Darren Anderton from Tottenham. Yeah. Yes, that's it, Daz. You know your stuff. So, yeah, man. So, I was a bit hurt, and I remember just getting the taste and thinking, this football stuff's good, man. Like, you know what? This is big, man. Can England do it for the next campaign? Yeah. But my worst memory, and to this day, it still burns me, was 2013/14, Chelsea 2, Liverpool 0. Stevie Gerrard slipping, we lost the league. That crushed me. And I tell you, people, I'm going to be honest, at that time, right, that season, I had an illness, right, and encountered the illness, Bell's palsy. So I had a lot of time in my hands. I used to work full time and I could rarely watch the games. So I had I think it was around about January, February. So I was watching every Liverpool game. And when we started to come into the title hunt, I thought, bloody hell, we can do this. But in my mind, I'm thinking, we're a bit shaky at the back. You know, we had Sacco, Skirtle, Milley in goal. You know, we were leaking goals for fun. But once it got to that game, we beat City on the Hillsborough Day, if you remember, 3-2. Gerrard had the infamous.
Away, yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Let's not let this sleep. And when I woke up in the morning, I don't know what it was. I put my Liverpool shirt on. And you know, when you get that gut feeling, thinking something's going to go wrong today, I just couldn't put my finger on it. I just thought something feels wrong. Jose Mourinho's going to frig it up. Because I remember a lot of people were saying, Chelsea's got a depleted side. If you remember, Chelsea had a weakened side that day. They had no Petr Cech in goal. Yet they was playing an unknown central defender at the back. I can't remember his name now. And you know how football works. When the story goes like that, there's a twist. So when the final whistle went, I'll tell you when it came in. And I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be a man and admit this. I don't business. When we was attacking, Gerrard was shooting shots from left, right and centre. We weren't getting through. I remember Suarez took a shot. And if I remember, Mark Schwartz to save it. And I'm like, bloody hell, let's just get this point. All we need is a point. So it gets to the 90th minute injury time now. Chelsea break on us. If you remember, Torres is through on goal. I've got my head in my hands and I'm gasping in horror. And I'm thinking, oh my God, not you. He squares the ball. William scores. Guess what happens? I've burst into tears. Into tears. I broke down. I just started crying and I thought the title's over.
That was. I remember watching that at home myself. I was in the house watching. I had on Sky. The build up to it was phenomenal. I remember some rival fans were saying at the time maybe we celebrated too much and gave too much a welcome to the team. And that was bad. But I always felt that season we definitely punched above our weight. I remember come Christmas, we were top of the league that year. And someone had said to me, had made a comment that, look, the year Liverpool, something about if we won the league, what they do that year. And he goes, but won't hold me breath. And I says, well, look, defensively, there's question marks this year. And obviously with the keeper. And I says, look, like goal scorers and attackers will win you games, but defenses will win you leagues. And we need to be more composed, more compact at the back. And look, it was a bit of a free for all. Then we beat City, and then the dream is really the dream. Like I think it was 4 games to go. There was Norwich who we done the
That's
business
it.
at, then Chelsea at home, and then
Palace
wasn't
and
a Palace
Newcastle
and then Newcastle. And
yeah.
I think there's a bit of a narrative around that game. This is just my own opinion, and it's mad how the opinions change, that Gerrard does slip in that game, and it's always going to be remembered as the time he slipped up and he lost the league because of the huddle before that and everything else. But I think the narrative is too easy. I think he was such an unbelievable, phenomenal player that you can't every time expect him to do well. You can't expect him every time to go above and beyond, because for 10 years he carried the team, and a lot of mediocre teams as well at Liverpool he carried. Do you know what I mean?
Oh gosh, we're going to talk about that later.
I think he's I think it's very harsh on him. I really do, because then after that we go to Palace, we draw. Then I think we beat Newcastle 2-1 last game just about. But I think it shows how hard it is to win a Premier League, and it shows why it's over 38 games. And we were playing toe and toe with an unbelievable Man City team that already had that experience to win the league, and already pumped in hundreds of millions. You know, or with Suarez and with Sturridge there, you know, the SAS they called him was unbelievable, and then Gerrard was there, and Henderson was really pivotal that season.
Yeah, he was coming into his age then. Henderson,
but it was just it was. I do think it's definitely one of the worst games we lost it, but then when we went on to win it, those memories were just erased, or just alleviated straight away, wasn't it? And what a feeling it was then to win it.
Going to Ali A, big up to yourself, Ali A.
Big up Ali A.
You're saying losing the Champions League final. For me, it was a bad moment. I remember being on Anfield watching that in the pub, and it was a worst moment. But in my heart, I didn't stress too much, because I knew we were going to come back. We were building something under Jurgen Klopp. If you look at under his tenure since he came in, every year we were going up, signing better players, and we were only going to get stronger. And for me, it was a matter of time before we were going to win the league title or a Champions League. So yes, I was gutted in the manner it went down with Carragher messing up, but we wasn't quite ready. We just needed a little bit of tweaks, little bit more stuff, and then the final puzzle was going to be there.
And hence why it was one player that really kind of did let us slip in Carragher's 2 awful, horrendous saves, but it did kind of seal my fate that he wasn't good enough as a number 1 going forward. But look, it took a lot of confidence out of him. I don't think he was as bad as a keeper as some people make out. I think look,
I actually feel sorry for him.
German keeper, he had a lot of potential, very young, done some good stuff for us that season. But there was also stuff he done that season where you thought, I don't know about him when it comes to the big games. And look, Real Madrid, very experienced, composed, very compact, unbelievable team. Ramos takes Salah out, knows what he's doing. Very experienced, the serial winners. For us, I was more proud after that game, and people had called me a bit deluded and this and that. And I says, look, but then the season after, we come back with not only was a 97 points and then the final, what a season, and we blew everybody away. I mean, we were so good the next season. Defensively, you know, we defended as a team and attacked in spirit, and what a side we had that season. And indeed, but I do agree with you. Christopher Edwards there, shout out to you. Howdy you, Christopher.
You got yourself, Chris, fellow Chris name.
Now, gents, with the defence, pace and power at the back, counts plus, look at the title winning team.
Exactly. And when you go back to saying that, when you look at that season in 2013/14, we were leaking goals. I think we conceded up until the Man City game. So Man City was the 4th game to the end, right? And I remember thinking to myself, I'm going to be honest, I remember sitting back and thinking, but can we really win the league? We've conceded 46 goals. At that point, we conceded 46 goals. Once the season ended, we conceded 51 goals, but we scored 101. So if you look into the account of that, it's defense that wins you titles. Do you know what I'm saying? It's evident. You know, we were leaky at the back. Milley wasn't quite ready. There was moments when I look at him and think, is he a goalkeeper that... You know, when you look at league title winning sides, their goalkeeper is imposing, big stature, big presence, and he looks the dog's bollocks. Do you know what I mean? You just know.
Of course.
He doesn't have that. As much as I respect him, Stephen Milley doesn't have that about him.
And we also... What people forget as well is with the young manager, I think he was under 40, and Brendan Rodgers. He hadn't had that elite experience, you know what I mean? And I think sometimes when the going gets tough, after we beat City, we beat Norwich, we've Chelsea, we've Palace, and we've Newcastle, and we've 2 at home, 1 away, and you think 7 points might do it here, you know, possibly even 6 might, who knows? But we ended up going on, and sometimes you look around the dressing room, and you know, you've Gerrard, you've great players there, Carragher only left, and you think that it's the manager, you know what I mean? And I think that's kind of similar to what's happening at United now. Sometimes they get so close, but so far, because sometimes you need that manager just to get that more reassurance.
Give you that push,
as players, you need to be told what to do.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need to have trust and faith in what that person's telling you to do is the right person. And that's where I think a little bit of naivety maybe Rodgers. I think he had an unbelievable season, 101 goals, unbelievable counter-attacking football, unbelievable football at times. Remember we beat Arsenal 5-1.
It was breathtaking. The Arsenal game, I can't even say what was happening.
Suarez should have, he hits the bar in that game. If anybody was back and watch it on YouTube, it was the greatest goal that didn't count. I mean, what
I still watch the highlights of that now. That 20 minutes, that opening 20 minutes, I remember there was a chance when Coutinho's got a pass, a lovely through ball reminiscent of Alonso, and Sturridge was through and goal, and he's missed the target. We should have blown Arsenal away, and this is no word of a lie, people. At least 7-0 before the break, easily. Carlo Torre hit the post, Suarez hit the post, the free kick. Amazing football. Unbelievable.
Gerrard, Christopher Edwards there. If we saw Carragher, probably won't get much. No, I don't think so. And we haven't sold him yet, no, but it's safe to say he's not going to feature again. But Liverpool, big shout out, Jersey boy. Thanks for tuning in,
Jersey boy. Long time no see, Jersey boy.
Yes, everybody go over and like and subscribe to Jersey Boys page. Ali is the best goalkeeper in the world. Absolutely agree with you. Laser, where is your green screen? The famous green screen.
You know what it is, guys? When I do the live shows, because I'm in my studio set up, right? The green screen, I don't know if it's to do with StreamYard. Some of it's to do with my computer. The processing power can't handle it, so it starts glitching. And I look like robotic. So when I'm doing the green screen, that's post-production. That's done with a camera, and then I edit it into a separate software. So that is coming. Don't you worry, the green screen's coming soon when I'm doing live shows. But for me personally, at the moment,
top today for no green screen.
yes. I'm enjoying this so far. We still got a lot to get through. People.
So I suppose the best memory then, or your greatest memory, whether you were at a game or live or whatever, some moment in Liverpool's history, probably not a hard one to guess, but
I think you know this one, because I haven't been to many Liverpool games at Anfield, because I'm more of an armchair fan, but for me, 2005, the miracle in Istanbul, Champions League final, oh my days, I was out, I was in a pub with a mate, and I remember it, man, and I can't really say some things on air what happened because it's a bit too early. I was a different person than in my younger days, Put it this way, I was, when it was half-time,
rolled off.
That's it. When it got half-time, I thought, fuck this. But I thought to myself, you know what? Pardon my language, Daz. Excuse me, people. I thought to myself, you know what? We could come back in this. We can at least give it a good goal. Whether we win it, I don't know. Because at the time, Milan was a phenomenal team. Just look at the talent, what they had in the side.
That's world class.
Absolutely. They were the top dons at the time. But then in the second half, there was something, whatever Rafa Benitez said in that dressing room, and Gerrard as well, and the senior players, we had Dieter Hammonds at the time, the Carraghers, Hippier as well. Whatever they said worked, and I think it was a bit of arrogance from Milan. They probably seen it as our English team. You remember as well, guys, we didn't do good in our league campaign as well. Domestically, I think we finished 5th on a low point tally. Exactly, that's right, man. You know what I'm saying? So I think they underestimated us, and that's what a lot of teams go wrong in football. People and that, and we just came out, and once we got that first goal, you could sense something. The fan base were cheering, singing the songs. Got the second goal from Smitha, and Milan started shaking, and I was just jumping up for joy, and I knew it. When that happened, I knew we were going to win that. I thought we were going to win it in normal time, but as you know, Liverpool never do things the easy way.
The momentum and that intensity and that energy Liverpool come out with as soon as Gerrard scores, the famous Clive Tilsey interview, hello. But I mean, that again, and I always say this to people, and people will just think you're mad in the head for it. That summed up for me that sometimes it's about unity, togetherness, never give up. And what Jurgen Klopp installs into Liverpool, what he's implemented so much, sometimes that's better than quality. You can have technique, you can have quality, but if you don't have the rest, I just don't think you could. Because I think there's often footballers that you see as their career goes on, they get better. There's footballers that go on that they look at themselves, they're well conditioned, they're great, but they just don't have that. They don't have that leadership. They don't have that that ball.
And the mental fortitude as well, I think as well.
You need to have that mindset. And I think that's probably, like, for example, we go back to the Euros. Switzerland are 3-1 down against France. There's 9 minutes to go. France are the favourites to win it. They've only won the last tournament. They're an unbelievable side. Strength and depth, unbelievable. Switzerland are going home. They might get a goal back, might get 3, but they're going out in extra time. What happens? They go all the way, then they go all the way into penalties and win. And you look at Liverpool down the years from when they first won the first European Cup to in 71 to then what happened. I mean, you know what I mean? It's unbelievable how
and that's been instilled from Shankly.
Some of the moments, not just finals, but late campaigns. And you know, now look at we're the type of club that I always say we've won everything, but we've also lost everything because we've had things taken away from us. Like you elaborated on that season in 2013-14 season, you know, we lost it all then. So it's a very unique club. It's an unbelievable club. I think we're going up to 130th year, isn't it now, maybe in existence. So like it's not a coincidence, you know. But that final, that was something you'd always watch over and over again.
Man, I wish I was there. I just remember thinking, I wish I was there in Turkey, because I just remember to put it this way, I couldn't get up the next day.
It was a complete
it was just mad. And I remember all the Man United fans, all the local people were jealous, and there was just hating, saying, they did not want Liverpool to win. I couldn't believe it. Because do you remember back in the day, when a British team was in Europe, a lot of people used to club together and support that British team in Europe. There wasn't a rivalry how it is today. Remember, you only had one team in the European Cup back in the days.
That's right,
That's how it was. So then as the years went on, you had 3-4 teams, you know, the rivalry became intense. Nobody wanted to see that team do good. And if, you know, honestly, at one period, I would say the Champions League became bigger than the league. You know, the league championship it did. You know, there was big prestige behind it. So, man, I just remember loving it, man. That was a very standout moment, man. You know, and it was just unbelievable.
And we got it for keeps as well. It was the fifth one.
The fifth one, man.
We hadn't got the best of teams. We hadn't spent a lot. We'd a new manager coming in. And look, Ali A touches on it there. The Rafa Tolla. Guys, do you think Rafa going to Everton will tarnish his legacy of winning the Champions League in Istanbul? For me, personally, Ali A, I don't know about what Chris thinks, but no, I don't think so. I don't think he's going to get anywhere near the success at Everton if he does go on to be a success as he did at Liverpool. And I think he's gone for this job. He still lives in Liverpool. We know he lives in the world. It's a job that's become available to him. He obviously loves the city more so than he loves Everton, you know. I know, look, it was a bit of a tongue-in-cheek moment before. I'm not going to read too much into when he called Everton a small club. But no, I don't think so. I think he's done enough at Liverpool. He's done enough where, you know, you look at the 96 Hillsborough campaign. And look, he's the type of manager you can't hate him for it. As Jamie Carragher alluded to there recently in an interview with Tony Bellew, he just can't wait till we go to Goodison. We go 1-0 up against Everton. The Liverpool fans start singing Benitez's name. You know, that'd be a highlight for us. But no, I don't think so. What do you think, Chris?
For me personally, I'm all right with it now. I'm going to be honest. Initially, when I heard it, I felt a bit sick. I thought, what are you doing? Like, what are you playing at? But, you know, when I took things into consideration with his family being in Liverpool, he's always had this long-lasting love for Liverpool. He always talks good of Liverpool ever since. There was no bitterness when he left Liverpool in 2010, you know, before Hodgson taken over. And for me, what he has done for Hillsborough and everything that goes into the club, you know, speaks huge volumes. The man that he is, he's not a bad person. I think when he mentioned that comment about Everton at the time, it was business. It was, you know, it was just tongue in cheek. It didn't mean nothing of it, you know, in depth. You know what I'm saying? So I think he would do okay with Everton, but I don't think he would do enough to tarnish his legacy at Liverpool. That's in the past. What he done for us will never be forgotten. Winning that 5th European Cup, the stuff he's done for Hillsborough, trying to get us as close to Manchester United, because I believe we should have won that league in 2009. The team that we had, Alonso, Mascherano, you know, Gerrard, Torres, it was phenomenal. And we just, Man United was just that little bit better, you know. So we've done a lot for us, man.
Got the job done, a bit more cutthroat, a bit more ruthless.
And plus his hands were tied behind his back. Hicks and Gillette as well, if you remember. He could have done a lot more.
Yeah,
you know,
he
but
could have.
things,
Cowboys, hadn't we? That's what they were banded on to be, and it is asked of Fozzie's world. You can't win the visuals. It's all about the team, and that's true, and that's something that, like, I'm on WhatsApp groups and they're hopping all the time. Why are we not signing players? Why is this, that, and Gerrard? I mean, I think we've probably been spoiled. The fact that some fans now are questioning Jurgen Klopp about, like, oh, we need to bring in this, we need to bring in that, and Chelsea, United. But this, the thing with Jurgen Klopp, he sits back, he smiles, he deals with the media. And he just says what he wants. Like, there's zero fucks given, really. He's just the type that, like, he knows what he's doing. He's a plan. It's longevity. It's not just about now. And he has that winning style, that habit, that attitude, that discipline implemented so strong into players that, like, it goes back to the quote, and I think it was when he was at Dortmund, that he doesn't buy superstars, he makes superstars.
He makes them.
Andy Robertson, Gini Wijnaldum, Salah, Mane, all examples of players that are just never going to be anywhere near what they were. As good as they were, I'm not going to say that Klopp just turned them into great players. He got the best out of them. And
he took them to the next level.
To engage with them in that right way and relate to them, and had them in a system. And that's very important as well. Systems. It's not going out and signing this player and that player, and they don't fit systems. And we see how hard it is in today's market to sign players. Like, you look at people, let's touch on United. It took almost 2 years to sign Sancho. You know, that's been a sign, and that he's been going through them every year. So I'm not without getting away from this podcast what it's about, but in the like signings, look, Klopp knows what he's doing, and I think it was obvious when it came to a couple of weeks ago that most of the business was going to be done at the end of the window, and we still might see the best of it done, you know, come the last, is it just over 2 weeks now left to go? So
about 17 days, and I believe we will do something. You know, I'm sure they've got things in the pipeline, and we must not panic. We've got a great team. The only thing that concerns me slightly is the injuries. You know, we've already got Robertson out. He shouldn't be out too long. Can Navigator, the likes of Joe Matip, remain fit? If we can have a fit team this season, we will go right to the end. I really believe that Liverpool are a good team. As Fuzzy said, we're not individuals. We are a team, a solid team. You can say that they all play for each other and love each other and care. You know what I'm saying? You can see the unity and the harmony in the squad. You know, when you see
harmony is unbelievable. Yes. Shout out there to Greg Duff. Go over and subscribe and like to Greg's
Big up to yourself, Greg, man.
Duffer loves the music, Irish traditional music, the Bowron. So if any of us want to go over and subscribe to him there, I'd recommend it. And if I recommend it, we can't be too wrong, can we? But big shout out to there, Greg, for jumping on. Ali, hey, Daz and Lazer, which one of you will take this season, the Premier League and FA Cup, or the Champions League and League Cup? I mean, look, before we go ask even Chris, that my thing all since the last season ended was this season: be competitive, be there or thereabouts in the league, be there or thereabouts in the Champions League. So if we're there or thereabouts and say we have a really good campaign in the league and the Champions League, but we don't win them, there'll be some sense of I show proudness there, right? Yeah. And we want to win a cup, happy days. If we don't make any more signings, that's where my stance is on it now, which I do think we will. I'd be very happy. And I think, look, a lot of the top clubs, City, Chelsea, United, would also be happy if that's how the campaign went for them. Obviously, it depends on how many points you're ahead at one stage, are you behind, or what if the claw back, what injuries you have. It's very, very hard to make that prediction, I think. What do you think, Chris?
Well, for me personally, right, so for me, I would take an English double, the Premier League and FA Cup. And the reason why I say that, the Champions League is a massive cup, and it would be lovely to get our 7th. But for me, I believe Liverpool want to put right what happened with the COVID pandemic, get number 20 and lift that in front of the Anfield supporters, and the parade will be something out of this world. For me, as Daz alluded to, even if we don't win any trophy and we give it a good go and come very near there and about City, whether it's City and Chelsea, because I believe those are going to be right up there this season, I'll be happy with that. You know, we can take pride and joy and be proud of the boys. If it's a case where a lot of players get injured and we're struggling to make the Champions League spots and we don't make any signings, then a lot of questions are going to be asked from our fan base and alarm bells will start ringing. But for me, I have faith in Klopp that we will have a good season this year. He's a very good manager, and I've never once doubted Jurgen Klopp. Even after last season, losing 6 consecutive games, not once I was like, I want him out. And I heard a small minority, fake so-called Liverpool fans saying Klopp out. Are you mad?
Yeah. You're mad. Yeah.
You're mad.
Yeah. What's the world coming to? Yeah.
You're mad.
No, well, he's the man. He delivers the Holy Grail. And we look, without getting too much into how positive and good Klopp is, we all know. You know what I mean? We all know. And that's going to happen. Shout out there to Channon LFC.
Yeah, big up to yourself, Channon LFC.
Big talk there of obviously them coming in. But we'll wait and see. You know, as I said a while ago, we'll probably be in talks, next of all, agree terms, and a player sign someone that we haven't been linked with or we haven't been heavily linked with. So Liverpool tend to do these things play their cards close to their chest, don't give anything away. And I love that. Since the whole Van Dijk thing, than not giving that away. And I believe someone actually lost their job over that leak at the time, and we had to pull out.
I remember it.
So, so Lazer, that's look so far. We're more into the nuts and bolts.
Yeah,
here, so,
we've gone really long today. I told you we could talk.
No, absolutely.
We can chat, man.
So
we still got a lot to get through, guys.
Yeah, we do. We still a lot. What's the greatest Liverpool player in your opinion? The greatest ever. So the greatest ever player. And look, there's so many. And this is just
so many, man. Like Roger Hunt. There's so many players. For me, I would say Dalglish. He wasn't my era. You know, this is of watching archive clips, hearing the stories, you know, when he got signed at the time and what he brought. He took Liverpool to a next level from what I've heard. You know, King Kenny, you know, what more can I say about King Kenny? You know, he's the king. But for me, in my lifetime, I would say there's a few. It's hard to pick. I would say Gerrard, you know, he kind of carried Liverpool on his backs for large periods of time. You know, we were in the doldrums, we was in a rut. I would say Suarez as well. You know, Salah, there's quite a lot. I haven't actually got one standout player where I can say straight away he's the best player for me. But I would say Dalglish, for going back into the past and looking at that period between the late 70s, early 80s, you know, that period up until when he was player manager, what he done for Liverpool.
What an achievement to be player manager and be successful.
Not just being a player, as a man, what he did for Hillsborough as well. The funerals he went to, the support he gave to families. And I believe to this day that broke him. A part of him not died, but it went away and he couldn't take it anymore. He couldn't deal with it. And he had to step down. You know, I always look at it. If all that didn't happen, maybe we would have went on to win another title. But things happen in life. Sometimes things are just unexplainable. And it's just one of those things, you know. And then he went on to Blackburn Rovers and helped them win the league. His appetite was still there for at English football for being a manager. But I would say Kenny Dalglish for me. Dalglish.
Well, look, it's hard to like. I think if you've done a poll, Kenny gets it because of player manager, because of individual honours what he done, because of the player he was, technical ability and the attitude, discipline he had, and then obviously what he done for all the Hillsborough families. Then also on the other side, you'd say, well, Gerrard hadn't got the teams or wasn't spoiled for choice as much as Kenny when he had Souness and Emlyn Hughes, all these type of great players from Rush, Hansen. You know, and Stevie carried the club for so long, and if he had had that, he probably would have been as good as Kenny, if not better. And there's a good point there. So it is a hard one to say, but I do think the two names that's the most obvious is, and I think based on facts, would be Kenny and Stevie. I think no doubt about it, and longevity, how long they're at the club, what they can do. And I think if you're a part of the Liverpool family, you have to show that. You know, if you're there 3 or 4 years, but you were great, but then you went on, you were sold, and I think that might get in the way, like the Suarez thing, you know what I mean? And look, Chanham or Ali puts in a good point there about Salah coming up to be one of the best, and I actually agree he could be. If he stays with us, we believe he's going to sign a new contract. If he stays with us longer, I
really do believe he loves Liverpool.
He could be. What a player. He is absolutely breathtaking, phenomenal. And what I've accepted with him, I'd say probably the only, not criticism, but the only thing you could say isn't his best strength, because he's strength everywhere, is sometimes he misses the easiest chances for scoring, the most unbelievable. And that can be frustrating. But I've learned it is what it is with Salah, and you have to accept that. And that's just who he is, you know what I mean? But he'll still get you the goals that's needed and required to be successful. I mean, phenomenal. Nearly 130 goals already.
I know. The record he's breaking is absolutely out of this world, you know.
If Suarez stayed, he could have been.
We're going to touch upon. Don't worry, we've got some stuff in store, people.
I think so. What a player as well, Suarez. I mean, so far so good, Lazer. It's getting into it. So we're finally going to be getting to the end of it now, which is going to be your greatest ever Premier League 11.
Okay.
Now, look, this is so hard. I mean, everybody would probably have the most obvious choices, but why I say it's very hard is it's someone's opinion, just based on what they think. And like, you can talk about players and say, oh, maybe you should have put him in and this in, but you're not going by facts. You're not going by what they've won, the goals they've scored. You're probably going by their attitude, what they contribute, with their loyalty. There's a bit of everything you take into consideration. I think we'll wait and see, because I don't know this, so there's no spoiler alert. I don't know what team
so what I'm going to do,
so we're going to add into the stream there, will I, Lazer?
Yeah, we're going to share it, and I'm going to look slightly to my right, because what I'm going to do is look at myself on another screen. So this is going to be like a presentation. So are you ready, people? So this is
Love that.
Laser. People are loving that. Big up to yourself, Finn Ers, my brother from another mother. Yes,
And that's
Christopher
a good one there,
Edwards.
Christopher Edwards, yeah.
Yep. So we're gonna get cracking now, people. People, this is my best 11 based on who I've seen play for Liverpool. I've taken into account the longevity, the application, and you got to realize as well, I'm not going to give too much away, so we're just going to get stuck into it. So here we go.
Serious creativity, that.
Nice one, Daz. Lazer LFC, best Premier League, Liverpool 11. So we're going to go right into it, people. Goalkeepers. So, when I started watching Liverpool, we got to remember this is based on the Premier League era, 1992. So David James was the keeper at the time. I thought that he was a good goalkeeper. At the time, he was understudy to Grobbelaar, and he became the number one. But I thought, you know, going overtime, he didn't quite have the mental fortitude, you know, to take himself to the next height. At the time, there was a lot of criticism saying that he plays a lot of video games and he's not knuckling down. Then we got Brad Fiedel, didn't spend long enough at Liverpool. Sander Westerveld, part of our treble win in 2001. Then we move on to Jerzy Dudek, Liverpool 2005 Champions League winner, the infamous Grobbelaar. Shakes in goal, you remember, people? And then we signed Pepe Reina. Now, Pepe Reina was one good goalkeeper. The amount of clean sheets he kept, you know, in his initial few seasons, he was imposing. He was looked at that he was the missing piece of the jigsaw. You know, he was good at the back, very commanding and very vocal as well. Then Simon Milley, you know, came under Brendan Rodgers' tenure. For me, he was okay. There were signs that he could be a decent goalkeeper when he was at Sunderland. But to me, he didn't have the confidence and the imposing stature. You know, he used to flap at crosses a lot and things like that. But he was okay for the time being. He was a good shot stopper, though. Then we go into Loris Karius and Alisson Becker. Now, I'm not going to spare you the details about Loris Karius. You all know, and I'm sure you all know about Becker. So, people, my reveal for my number one goalkeeper is Alisson Becker. Alisson Becker. Totally. And it was a bit of a sticky one, guys. It was between him and Reina. And I tell you why I went with Alisson Becker. Ever since he came to Liverpool, he has been magnificent in goal. He has a cockiness which is unrivaled. It's a good cockiness. I remember in the opening couple of games, we played Leicester City at the King Power, and he's tried to dribble from at the back. He did get caught cold, and I think it was Iniacho that took the ball and scored. But he did not let that faze him. Many other goalkeepers would have made that knock their confidence. Remember as well, guys, for me, without Alisson, we do not win the Champions League in 2019. You all remember the save he made against Napoli right at the death. Yes, in the group stages. Alisson has been magnificent at the back. For me, as soon as you see him, he's got the presence, the character, the height. And don't forget, people, he scores goals. He scores goals.
It's unbelievable goals as well. That any centre half or forward would, if he hit it, would be a worldie. Like, what a goal, what a moment that was. I mean, we talk about some like unbelievable moments of football, and that was like, if we don't win that game that day, you know, there's no Champions League. It's correct. Disappointing, and it probably sums up how we're all feeling, what we all probably predicted that stage. I mean, we'd know right then in the end to just go up and not just win a header, Alisson, but to get the header in the way he did. I know. Crouch or a Shearer or a Lineker in their day would have been delighted with that. So unbelievable. What a goal, what a moment. And then obviously the emotion that his father passed away. And so couldn't have been scripted better, but that was absolutely unbelievable fate. And
unbelievable. It would have been so nice to be there and see it, man.
And what a great save as well. Yesterday he pulled off with a way.
Yes, I was just going to touch upon that. That's the thing. When he's in front of goal, he's just like big, imposing. I was watching the game. 3-0 to Liverpool. We slacked that for a little bit. You know, we made substitutes. Then I think Elliott came on. Typical Liverpool. We take our foot off the pedal. Norwich have got an attack. I'm thinking, we're going to concede. We're going to not keep a clean sheet. What does Alisson do? He makes himself big in front of goal. And I'm like, oh, he's got no business doing that save. And this is why, for me, he's the best goalkeeper in the world today. His all-round attributes speaks volumes.
I think so. I agree. Yeah,
Thank you,
absolutely. And he's Brazil #1, Liverpool #1.
Yeah.
Sometimes you think these players and keepers get in there on merit. But with Alisson, it's facts. The facts will tell you. Do your research, watch him play. It's very hard to be a world-class goalkeeper time in, time out. Like you look at the Atletico Madrid keeper, what's his name? Oblak.
Oblak,
unbelievable keeper, and what about it? But when you look for consistency, Alisson just has it all the time, you know. And he's still growing stature, getting more experience, so he'll only get better, you know.
Yeah, definitely, man. And he signed an extension. Yes. Big stuff. So, guys, we are going to move on to the centre backs for Liverpool. So here you have it. So when I started watching Liverpool, we had players like Phil Babb. I've missed out so many. I had to narrow it down to a short list.
Yeah.
So Phil Babb, I thought he was a good centre-back at the time. We used to play a system with 3 at the back. Razor Ruddock, John Scales, Jamie Carragher. He has to be in the short list. The amount of appearance, you know, I think he's got a record. What is it, over 500, 600 appearances?
Second most appearances for Liverpool behind Ian Callaghan.
That's it, Callaghan, amazing.
Maybe. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Very, very vocal at the back. The amount of rollickings he used to give to players at the back. Who can't forget Sami Hyypiä as well? Legend. You know, he was a captain at the time. We bought him for steel as well.
Yeah, 10 years.
And then we moved on to Daniel Agger. I thought Daniel Agger was a great centre-back, but his injury issues stopped him from getting to the greater heights.
Yeah, totally
who
agree.
Can't forget and who can't leave out Mr. Calm as you like, Virgil van
Dijk. Yeah.
That's right, people. And people may not remember this guy. He used to partner Hyypiä, Stefan Hancho.
Yeah.
Great centre-back. That's it. So my reveal is for my first centre-back. It's going to be none other than Virgil van Dijk. People.
The most obvious, the Colossus, the Rolls Royce, the best we've probably had. I mean, Carragher, we say, was unbelievable as well. He had more grit, determination, showed that passion. But Van Dijk is just a much cooler customer and technically better than Carragher. I think Carragher would agree as well. Look, I mean, you can't pick a Premier League 11, a Liverpool 11 especially, and not have Alisson and Van Dijk. No, I don't believe, you know.
Yeah, what can I say about Van Dijk? Guys, when I first seen him and laid eyes on him, I seen bits of him at Celtic, went to Southampton, and honestly, a game that stands out in my memory, 2016, we played Southampton at St. Mary's. Sadio Mane is through on goal. Up comes Virgil van Dijk. The burst of pace and the way he's nicked that ball off Mane. I thought straight away, I want him. I want him to play for Liverpool. But in the back of my head, I remember thinking, we're going to have to pay an arm on the leg. Because at the time, we were shopping at Southampton, Klein, Lallana, Lovren, etc. I thought, we're going to pay loads.
Mane, we're coming
and Mane. And most likely, he'll go to City or Chelsea. They're just going to outbid us and offer him the big wages. Then here, right, that he wants to play on the club. When he came for us, I was so made up. I was so happy. I felt like a kid. I was like, yes, we have got one of the best centre-backs in the game today. He scores on his debut against Everton. Guys, what more can I say about Mr. Virgil van Dijk? Do you know what I mean? Calm as you like. So we're going to move on, guys, because this is going to take some time. Then partnering him, as we went back before with the list of centre-backs I had, don't forget I had Carragher in there, I had Phil Babb, I had Hancho, and a whole host of others. I am going to choose partnering him. Sami Hyypiä. Yes, Sami Hyypiä. And a lot of people may be surprised with that and think, oh, why don't you want Carragher? I've taken into account, for me, I believe if he was to play with Virgil van Dijk, them two would be unstoppable. Now, Hyypiä didn't have the best of pace, but his reading and understanding of the game was out of this world. At the time, we bought him for an absolute snip. You got to remember there was players like Yapstam going to Man United for like 10, 12 millions. And that was a lot of money in them days, 2000.
Huge money.
1999, yes.
And the 99, 2000.
That's in 99,
season,
yeah. You know what I'm saying? And he was pivotal in our the Champions League win and the treble win that season, this couple of seasons before.
I think why I myself would go with those three and why I would just favour Hoopia slightly ahead of Carragher was he got the goals. Just better at set pieces and got goals at crucial times. Like he got big goals for. So I don't think it was fair. And he was just that bit more of a presence and reassured than Carragher was.
And he was a leader.
Not much between them. Yeah, he was captain, wasn't he? And he was captain and then Gerrard got it. But I mean, his game even evolved after that. He could have just collapsed after that and it gave up the fight. But you know, he progressed unbelievable.
Phenomenal player, man. Phenomenal defender. Great defender, man. Hippier. You know, so we're going to move on to the left backs, people. And here are my nominations. So we have Steve Staunton, Andy Robertson, John Anarisa, and Stig Bjorneby. Now, Steve Staunton, I never seen much of him play. He played for Liverpool under 2 stints in the 80s. And then he left and came back to Liverpool. And he was a good left back at the time. He was decent left back. Andy Robertson, guys, what can we say? The price we bought him for, 8 million from Hull City. He has just taken his game to the next level. The engine on that guy, his delivery, the way he's going up and down the flank is just out of this world. I don't know how he does it. I think someone's going to have to cut him open and see if he's hiding Duracell batteries in his body, energizers, because that guy has got an engine, absolute engine for 90 minutes.
I think he's the best in the world.
At this current moment, yes. At this current moment,
he has been the last 2-3 seasons.
Yep. And then we have John Anarisa. He was a very good left back. He used to score goals. You know, the way how he used to play the game as well. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Stig Bjorneby. Now, he had an up and down time. I liked the way how he played. His deliveries were good. He used to feed the ball in to players like Robbie Fowler, Stan Collymore. Ian Rush was on the end of his tenure then. So he was making way for players like Fowler. But there was a time when he was injured for a lengthy period of time, and I think that halted his career and progress. He had a very good delivery, Stig Bjorneby. A lot of people won't remember this guy, but he was good. He was from Norway. So, people, my reveal, and a lot of people may a little bit surprised, is going to be...
Reese. Right.
Yes.
Definitely surprised at that one. I thought when I looked at it, the clear favourite was Robertson, but I think you might have went for Reese because he was there longer, scored more goals. And you look again, he was unbelievable. I just think Robbo was better defensively, and obviously got more assists. I mean, he's had more assists than actually Cole at left full. That's unbelievable.
I tell you why I chose
your
Reese.
opinion. You've had your reasons why.
For me personally, Robertson is the best left back in the game today. You got to remember, I've been watching Liverpool for a long time. At the time, Reese was a different type of left back. His defensive game wasn't the great, but he was great at bombing up and down the flank, and he contributed to a lot of goals. He scored over 30 goals in his tenure at Liverpool, and he had over 300 appearances. Remember, he was the one that got the Champions League final ball rolling. He delivered that phenomenal cross to Gerrard to get his head onto it. The amount of bullet goals he used to score as well. Sometimes you had to wonder, are you a winger? You know, so for me, guys, you might be thinking, why is he choosing him? I think it would have been a bit too easy just to choose Robertson. You know, yes, he's played in the greatest Liverpool.
Went with more the controversial one.
yes, Robertson.
Finners agrees with you, though. If
Thanks,
played in this
thank
era,
you,
there wouldn't be any decline in the squad.
Yeah, but the thing is, Robertson, you've got to take into account, he has played with the greatest Liverpool players, the best team in the world. You know, winning the Champions League, 97 points, then winning the league the following year, 99 points. It's a different era. I'm going based on the player that I like. So maybe some people be like, but for me, he's just slightly edged it based on his goal output as well. I think Robertson is very great at what he does, people, but I would like to see Robertson now take his game and nip him with the odd goal here and there. So
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, and
people.
a big one of the favourites, Finners, well, actually his favourite, my all-time favourite player, first name I had on kit, etc. So yeah,
Yeah,
so slightly
big up to
biased.
yourself.
Yeah, Conroy
Yeah.
won't like this, Laser. Yeah, yeah, exactly, with the Scottish affiliation there. But no, but look, I would go for Robbo myself, but you know, it's Laser's chance, and this is his team, so big respect to you, bro. For
Yeah,
so
respect, man.
right
Does.
full the next one.
Okay, so we move on to the right bets. And these are my nominations. And you got it on screen, people, because I've got it on YouTube as well, and there's a delay.
Yes.
Yep, so I'm going to talk a bit slower.
Glenn
So
Johnson.
because I've got 3 monitors, so because I'm doing a PowerPoint, I've got to look at different screens so I don't spoil the reveal. So guys, Glenn Johnson. We got Jason Mcateer. Jason Mcateer, 1995, was signed from Bolton Wanderers.
Bolton, yeah.
He was played as like a right wing back at the time. He was amazing, amazing delivery, whipping the balls in for Fowler and Collymore to get his head onto. Absolutely amazing. Who can't forget Steve Finnan as well? Played in the Champions League final 2005. He did suffer some injuries as well, so he didn't get to take his career to the next level, but he was amazing. Scored against Everton and that goal against Arsenal as well. Who can't forget the Scouser in our team, TAA, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and I think you will all know who my choosing's going to be.
TAA has to be. Yeah,
the Scouser in our team. Scouser in our team.
From that fullback position, gets goals, gets assists, scores free kicks, contributes brilliantly into the central midfield players when we just need that fluidity and we're all out attack. Has definitely improved his game massively as well as a defender and a modern day fullback, an unbelievable player. Trent Alexander-Arnold, absolutely.
Yeah. You know, when he made his debut, he was 17, turning 18. And I remember it's weird because we had Klein at the time and he was supposed to be our next right back.
Yeah, and he was good. Klein was good.
He was good for a season or two, but I don't know if it was a confidence thing. What I used to hate and it used to annoy me, he'll get to the byline and then cut back. Like he would cut back like he was scared of whipping the ball in. When Trent Alexander came in, played his debut, full Premier League debut against Man United, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was like, this geezer's going to be the next big thing. I could see it already. I seen bits of him in the academy as well. The odd game here and there. You could see he had what it takes. Remember, guys, he was playing in midfield as well a lot then. So, obviously, Klopp's seen a lot of things in him to bring him on and put him in massive state games. He started the following campaign in the Champions League, scored, I think it was against Hoffenheim, if I'm right.
Hoffenheim,
That's it, in our qualifier. And then, what more can I say? He played in the Champions League final against players like Ronaldo. And to be honest, he dealt with him well, people. Dealt with the likes of Sane well in the Champions League quarterfinals against Man City. Guys, we all know about Trent Alexander-Arnold. What more can I say? He's the best right back in the game today.
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely.
Are you going for a 4? What's your system you're going for today, Chris?
Well, I'm going to reveal it in the next one and then you'll slightly get the gist of what I'm doing.
Right. That's
okay. Yes, I hope you're enjoying this, people. Big up to everybody locked in and locked on to DAS TV and Laser LFC. So we're going to move on.
Just all keep throwing in the comments and questions there, folks. If there's nothing else.
We're going to move on to defensive midfielders, people. So,
some good ones
we got
there.
Fabinho, the Brazilian stud, signed a contract recently. Who can't forget Javier Mascherano? Absolute monster. We got Dieter Hamann, the German soldier. And then we got Javi Alonso, the Spanish magician. So, guys,
brilliant.
Right. So, basically, my first pick is going to be Mascherano.
Okay, really good player. Great defensive midfielder.
Very good player. For me, he went way too early from Liverpool, and that was due to politics. At the time, we was going in decline. Hicks and Gillette, all the politics with, Rafa Benitez, behind the scenes stuff. And he went on to bigger and better things. Liverpool was in a steep decline. Barcelona was on the up, playing with the likes of the players they had at their disposal. And he took it and went, and I don't blame him. He still holds love for Liverpool. You remember when he won the... Yeah.
Against United, yeah.
That's you know what I'm going to say? It's like, you know what I'm going to say? When they beat them in the Champions League final, he dedicated that game to Liverpool. You know, we got him for a deal. I think we bought him initially on loan from West Ham in January. If I'm right. It took a while. Yeah. It took a while for him to get his permit.
Took a while to settle in and then get his permit. And
it was phenomenal, man. You know, he could play centre-back. But the way how he used to read the game and sit in front of the back four, you know, his tenacity, his application, his determination as well was phenomenal for me. I remember one game he played against United. It's the Old Trafford. I can't remember the year now.
Sent off in that one.
Yes, yeah. He just got hot-headed, but his passion for the game was so much to be unrivaled.
I think 2008 probably.
So what I'm going for, as you can see, people, I'm going to do my next reveal, and you will gather this is going to be a 4-2-3-1. So my next player is Xabi Alonso. And guys, I could not leave him out. He was amazing.
Phenomenal. Yeah. And then the bits that he went on then to do at Real as well. Then again, it was sad that he had to go. But I mean, imagine him in today's game, and imagine his transfer value. What he did
my days, that's
unbelievable.
Yeah, he was like an earlier version of KDB, just another player out in this world. His passing range, the way how he could read the game, you know, feeding balls to Torres, Gerrard. I remember sometimes Gerrard was the second striker when he played with Torres. I think it was 08-09 season. He was just amazing. The goals he scored. Do you remember, guys? The goal he scored from the halfway line. You remember that?
Luton in the FA Cup and Newcastle in his own half.
Newcastle,
again, Newcastle 2-0 in.
Yes,
he went on into play for Real, Bayern. I mean, he made over 100 appearances for Spain, won the Euros, 2 Euros, I think, in a World Cup. Phenomenal player. And he's actually doing, I think, well enough now at Mönchengladbach, isn't he, as manager?
Yeah,
I think
as a manager,
really good there,
And he's still young. He's got a lot of time. He's not even 40 yet. So you got to take into account he's young. You know, he was mature beyond his years. When he was at Liverpool, he was 22, 23 years of age. He was very mature. You know, he was
now, I think, isn't he? He's just under 40.
Yeah, 39, So I've got him in my team. I've got him more as a playmaking role, slightly a forward. You know, I got more Mascherano sitting right in front of the back four. So, for me, Alonso has to be in there. So, guys, we're going to move on to the midfielders.
Some Wooleys.
Yeah. So, I have John Barnes. Now, I wasn't old enough to see John Barnes in his major prime. Come to Liverpool 1987 from Watford. You know, he had an absolute worldy season in 1998. A lot of fans say that he's regarded as one of Liverpool's best ever teams. Fuzzy talks a lot about that team. So, as we know, he was a winger. In his latter years in the Premier League, he started to be converted into a midfielder. You know, his game was changing. And when I seen him play, he still had what it takes. You could see he was slowing down. He wasn't the same player as 5 years prior. You know, the game was changing. The game was becoming a different type of game. So I have to include Barnes in there. He's what got me into Liverpool. Guys, Stevie Gerrard, come on. It'd be daft of me to leave him out. I like you, like, say slap
one of the
yourself.
Greatest, if not the greatest. Says it all.
Yeah. So, we got Gini Wijnaldum. One of my favourite players. I was sad to see him go. I think under this current regime, when Klopp signed him from Newcastle, relegated team, we got him for absolute steal. For me,
25 million, I think.
Yeah, he is one of the pivotal players in the one of the main cogs in the engine. For me, without him, we might not have done as well as we would have in certain games. For me, he used to do a lot of dirty work, a lot of mopping up. Yes, his goal contribution wasn't great. You know, he stepped up in the Champions League semi-final. We all know the story there. But for me, Gini Wijnaldum, he wasn't a fancy player, but he was a very good player. And there's a reason why he's gone to PSG and Barca wanted him. Now, Henderson, Jordan Henderson, our current captain. For me, I'm going to be, a lot of people might say, I was a critic of him in his early days. If you remember, guys, in his first season, 11/12, it was under Dalglish. Dalglish's second reign.
Yeah,
that's it. Right. Came from Sunderland.
Took time to settle in.
Yeah, took him time to settle in. He used to play further forward on the right. And then Brendan Rodgers came in and there was question marks asked of him. And he was actually going to be sold to Fulham. I think Tottenham were looking at him as well, but he was on the verge of leaving. I think we were going to do a deal with Dempsey. He was going to be included in the deal.
That's
and I'm
right,
glad.
Fulham.
That's it. And I'm glad
disaster.
that did not happen, because Jordan Henderson, he is amazing, an amazing leader. A lot of the stuff he does goes unnoticed. And I think
he gets that level of respect that you don't see. But I think Jordan Henderson on our team doesn't contribute or evolve as much as he does at Liverpool. Sometimes there's clubs that players will just evolve at, and they're important, that cog that in the engine, and that's definitely Hendo. Like if Hendo went to PSG, Atletico, Real tomorrow, he just doesn't do as much there as he does at Liverpool. I'm not saying he's still the same work rate and attitude, discipline. I get all that. He's not contributing as much as he does at Liverpool and the Jurgen Klopp machine. But what a player! I mean, look, for me, Hendo, unbelievable. And I would probably, if I was doing my greatest Liverpool 11, I'd probably put him in there because of just the affiliation he has with the club, with the whole 30-year wait and how he contributed and the slow start he had to his career and how he was wrote off and not good enough. And then he goes from that to be captain, then to win the Champions League, first World Club Cup as well, by the way, with some people under 8, and then Champions League. I mean, what a player. And there's no doubt about it. He's here for at least another 2 seasons, if not more. If you listen to what Klopp's saying, it's going to be more, and they will come to an agreement with his contract. No doubt he's winning more of the big stuff. So unbelievable player.
Big up to people in the chat.
What do you think of Finnish?
Big up to people in the chat. Yeah, for me personally, I'm not looking at the aftermath of it. I'm looking at the time as he was a Liverpool player, and I respect your opinion, Finn. Big up to
same as myself. I do think he came out with it was just unnecessary drama. It was a bit stupid what he said, really. I think personally, and I think like if he doesn't do well at PSG, them fans will certainly be on his back and let him know. So I think for all the speculation and the stuff that he came out with saying, people will hear soon, to just say that was a little bit like, right, it's that issue. You know, it was a bit mad, but I know where you're coming from, Lazer. This is a team of what they done, what they contributed to, and not the aftermath.
So, guys, we're going to
shout out to all Klopp Talk TV as well.
Big up everybody locked in, man. Big them up, man. Go and check out their respective channels. Respect to everybody. Stay in tuned. So, guys, my player of choice is going to be Stevie Gerrard. Yes, guys. And for me, he was an amazing player. You know, he carried a lot of Liverpool on his back. And a lot of people say, a lot of people see him as Gerrard FC. For me, he was a good player. When he came to Liverpool on his debut, I remember the game. I think it was Blackburn Rovers, 98. And he wore the number 28 shirt. And you could see something there. He was a bit rash and clumsy because he was rough around the edges. You know, I think he played right back in a couple of games. And he's been deployed in numerous positions. Playmaker, he's even done the quarterback role in his latter stages of his career. He scored so many goals. Come on, the Champions League final 2005. He rallied the troops in that game. You see how much it meant to him. You know what I mean? The FA Cup final 2006, Gerrard final, the banger of a goal he scored. Oh my days. Guys, Gerrard has to be in there.
You know what I'm saying? If you're picking a Liverpool great 11 from Man, I think, okay, there's an argument for Man year that maybe you'd have to put him in, but certainly from a Premier League era, absolutely, Gerrard all day long. There's no argument. I'm not buying it, you know?
So, so Gerrard makes it in there. So, the next one, guys.
That's some team. So, that's going to be a 4-2.
3-1.
3-1.
It's a bit like, So, we're moving to attacking wingers, guys. And this is going to be hard, you know. A lot of people are going to say, this, that, and that. And I'm just basing it off who I think should be there, right? So, Sergio Armani, he came in the shortlist because he's been some player since he signed for Liverpool. We all know what he brings to Liverpool FC. Who can remember Patrick Berger? He was a winger, but at times he played as a second striker. That's it, the Czech. Yes. We signed him after Euro 96, it was. Euro 96, the Czech Republic got in the final that year. I think they lost to Germany. Yes, Germany.
Yeah, Patrick, Germany beat them after beating England.
That's it. He goes to show our age. Man. So Patrick Berger, Steve McManaman. The trickery, Steve McManaman. I remember when Liverpool won the old Coca-Cola Cup, which is now the Carabao Cup, 1995. He single-handedly absolutely dominated that final. We beat Bolton in that game, and he's just amazing. The trickery, the way how he had the ball close to feet as well. He was some player, a bit gangly, but he was a player on that wing,
he was
on the right wing.
He got his move then to Real, the mighty Galacticos at the time.
Yeah,
I remember his goal against Celtic. He ran all the pitch, and unbelievable player, Mcateer.
Yeah.
Unreal.
And then we have the Egyptian
majestic,
king.
momentous Mo.
Yes, Mohamed Salah. So, guys, I'm not going to go on and on. Without further ado, I pick and bring to you Mohamed Salah.
Has to be. Yeah,
it has to. Yeah, and without a shadow of a doubt, he's one of the best players in the game today. A lot of players sometimes will criticize him in games and say he could do a bit more. For me, he could be not having the best of games, and he just pops up with a worldie and a goal. Look at his first season when he came to Liverpool. Players, a lot of people saying, is he going to make it back in the Premier League? He was at Chelsea. Then I think he was at Basel first. Chelsea had him.
Yeah, Fiorentina, wasn't he? And
That's
Roma.
it. And then Roma, as we all know. So we got him for 35 mil?
45, yeah.
And believe it or not, people, it wasn't even our first choice. But I am glad.
Julian Brandt.
That's it. We have him. And guys, he broke the all-time Premier League goal-scoring record, beating the legendary Alan Shearer. Remember, Alan Shearer done that over 42 Premier League games. Salah done it over 38. 32 Premier League goals. And if you take into account the amount of chances he missed in that season, he could have easily had 40-odd goals. He has been phenomenal. The amount of goals he scored on his debut, he's in his 6th season now. He scored yesterday as well. He knows and sees an eye for goal. There's so much more to say.
He's world class. He's getting better, and his game is evolving, and he's boxing more clever, and he's just what a player. I just can't speak highly enough about him. An Egyptian king, a Liverpool legend already, and a player that's only going to evolve, get better, and contribute to more future success. No doubt about it.
Yeah. Big up to Frankie Ramon, one of my people. Thanks for stopping by. Big up everybody in the chat, man. Finners, Aussies, man. Just big up all of you people, man. It's a pleasure for you to be here, and it's a pleasure for me to be on this channel. It's been so long I've been trying to get on, and I'm here. Bringing the content to you.
We were meant to do this a long time ago, but different plans, man. Stuff changed, so we're finally great to be on Laser, isn't it?
Yes, lovely, jubbly. So, not long to go. We're now going to move on to the forward strikers. So, we have Michael Owen, Daniel Sturridge, Robert Fowler, Luis Suarez, and El Nino, Fernando Torres.
Kids.
Now, guys, we all know what these players were capable of. The amount of goals Michael Owen used to score, Daniel Sturridge as well. I think his career was hampered with the injuries, and I do believe Daniel Sturridge could have been world-class without the injuries that really messed up his career. He was that great. He was a natural predator in front of goal. That season, the SAS, Sterling and Suarez, out of this world. Robbie Fowler, we know what he was capable of. Came to Liverpool. He was played for us on the 2 occasions. Luis Suarez, and we know what Fernando Torres did. So, guys, I'm going to choose...
That's a more tougher one, I think, to pick.
Michael Owen.
Right, Michael Owen. Bit of a surprise. Yeah, definitely a surprise.
It was a tough one. It was a tough one, guys. It was a tough one. And the reason why I've done this is the formation. So, basically, I'm working with a 4-2-3-1. I have Michael Owen slightly a bit forward. In his early days, he used to come in from the left. Now, for me, when I see Michael Owen play, I remember watching the game, Liverpool 0, Wimbledon 2. He was warming up on the sidelines, and I remember thinking, who is this kid? In them days, we didn't used to see no academy games. Things were different then. We used to have 3 substitutes on the bench. You remember the good old days?
Yeah.
He substitutes on the bench.
Wasn't he? He was phenomenal player in this day.
My days.
Such a small lad. I remember the jersey used to be hanging on him. It was bigger. They looked bigger than he was. It was
the way how he absolutely destroyed Lee Dixon in that 2001 FA Cup final. Without him, we don't win that treble that year. The goals he was banging in. I remember the hat trick he scored against Newcastle. He had no business scoring them goals. He was a natural predator, and for the age he was, 17 years of age, 18, playing for his country in the
Won a Ballon
1998
d'Or
World
at
Cup.
2021.
Yes, exactly. I was just about to say that. The Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
So that is why he makes my team. He was regarded as one of the best players in the world at that time. That's how highly he was rated. And Real Madrid
can't take that away from him. He
exactly.
Like, whatever about happened with the move to United and stuff like that. Look, and there's a big debate without going into that. But I mean, when he was at us and when he played for us, he was just so powerful, so skillful, so quick, so strong. Everything but a natural goal scorer. I mean, we had someone like him now on the team. Imagine the goals we get with the chances we have.
I know.
mean, he was cutthroat, wasn't he? He was just ruthless in front of goal.
Absolutely does. And I liken him to Wayne Rooney a little bit, the way they both burst on the scene at a young age and just had an eye for goal. Like a kid when you play football in the park.
And done it internationally as well,
That's it, man. So I had to put him in there. So guys, we have one more player. And I am going to bring the one and only player for me that has to be right forever afield. Is going to be the one and only
the grandstand finale reveal.
Mr. Controversial Luis Suarez.
Yes. I mean, that's lucky. It was controversial and some things bad happened and he did dirty his babe Suarez, and that's at Liverpool towards the end of the course. And I think that would be why Klopp wouldn't take him back, because Klopp doesn't get into kind of that and just wants to move on. And, you know, obviously at the age, but you look at him now, I mean, he's went to Atletico, wins some that first league, I don't know in how long, but plays a massive part. But what a player. I mean, if forgetting all about the politics of it and everything else, if you're just looking for a player that's a real street player, real has it up here, you just want goals, you want them to go out and give you your all. You want a Suarez in your team. You know what I mean? What a phenomenal player. To do it in different leagues, do it internationally. He's just a winner, a serial winner that will do anything to win. And you can't deny that from him, you know. But what an unbelievable
guys, for me, player. I've taken the controversy and the politics out of this.
All this.
I'm not bringing that involved in this team. For me, he was absolutely out of this world. He had no business, and I mean no business, scoring some of the goals he scored. You remember the goal he scored against Newcastle? It come over the head. I think he's playing Colaccini. And it's just like
had no chance. He's just standing
It was
there,
mad. The way how he used to control the ball reminded me of like one of those video game players. Like the ball used to stick to him like a magnet. The goals he scored against Norwich City, halfway line, the half volleys, controlling it over his head. 2013/14 season. Remember, guys, he was out for 8 games and he still managed to score 31 Premier League goals. Who knows what would have happened if he was there?
To get to it then. Look, you have to remember when he was at Ajax, he scored, I think it was 81 and 110 appearances. Liverpool, he scored, I think it might have been 70 goals in over 100 games. Unbelievable. Barca, I think he got to nearly 150 goals at Barca. Then internationally, he scored, I think I seen something where he got 70 international goals and 120 appearances. Goal machine, but not just a goal machine, done everything that was expected of him. Pull him back into midfield, real leadership. You know, Suarez was a phenomenal player. And I remember at the time, there was a bit of talk of Arsenal when Wenger was there, that Arsenal was under a lot of pressure and they bid 40 million at £1. And I thought, like, if Arsenal had come in with a big offer, then they might have had some chance of getting Suarez. But they must look back, because, look, I look at Arsenal over the years, my mate supports Arsenal, they just lack leaders. They lack real good quality, like Suarez. Imagine they had someone like a Suarez, like where they'd be even now, what foundation that would have got them to. I mean, Suarez was, as you said, you're taking everything out of it. Goal scorer everywhere he went, and that international, done anything to win.
Football.
Anything to win. Yeah,
it was like street football.
Footballer. Yeah,
exactly. And imagine Suarez in a club team, not necessarily today because he's getting on in age, but imagine him in our prime, like 3 seasons ago. Oh my gosh. We would have been just smashing it.
He's world class. I mean, like,
absolutely.
Fozzie, 10 goals, LOL against Norwich.
I see what Finners is saying regarding back to Finners' comment. I see what you mean. I did consider that after I'd done the presentation when I compiled. I thought maybe I should add Suarez a bit deeper, and because he used to come deeper. Like,
I'd agree with that.
But that's my team.
I think they'd all rotate, and anyway, I think they'd all
interchanging.
You nearly have Gerrard up there, right up with them. Salah could easily go into that number 9 where you have Suarez there, like right at, I know where you have a 4-2-3-1. any of them could play their own Salah, so they'd all emerge. But I mean, that's just probably how they'd start the lineup. But what a team as well.
Thanks,
I would probably go with, if I was doing this team, my 11, I'd probably go with Robbo in there at left full. But look, I see the whole thing with reset. Like one of my best.
It was a hard one, you know.
Yeah,
it was hard for me. I was like,
none of them are easy.
I was like, shut up. I was thinking, you know what? It's too easy just to put, because I could have put, like, I think there was a last commenter said Fab. Now, if I'd have put Fab in there, that would have been too easy. That would be like the team we play with now.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
That you're trying to break it up and pick players from different kind of eras. So some from the 90s, early 2000s, middle 2000s, and now obviously the 2018 on under the rail when the players all emerged from the Klopp. So but you've at the moment you've 1, 2, 3, 4 Klopp players in that team, so that says a lot, you know what I mean? And I've seen you've tried to space them all out, but look at the quality in that team. I mean, that's one of the best teams you'd see in world football, isn't it? On its day.
What I was going to try and do, I can't implement it. I was actually going to get, because the software I was using, where you move the players around. So I was going to drag Owen and Suarez, and like Sky Sports and interchange it. I'm unable to do that. So as Phil said, I was actually going to get the mouse and move Suarez deeper and just show you what my team would do throughout the game. So that is my best 11, guys. There was a few surprises in there, few headaches, you know. Firmino's honourable mentions could have went to Firmino. So many players were missed out from there, guys. Exactly. Firmino, I didn't even make my shortlist. It was very hard for me to do, guys. So that is my best 11, guys. Laser LFC, it's been a pleasure, man.
Pleasure, bro. Yeah, no, pleasure, bro.
Pleasure.
And thanks to everybody today that came in on the comments, and obviously subscribe to the channel, and obviously to Laser as well. Go over and subscribe to some of the other channels there. Fozzie's YouTube channel is Unlimited, is it? Football Laser is the
LFC Red Forever. That's the second one.
LFC Red Forever. That's the new one. Sorry, because I know the lads had another one going, so it's trying to keep up here with the YouTube pages.
No problem.
Klopp Talk TV as well, and anybody else in there that's a channel. I don't think Finners does anymore. So big up Finners, Ali. Look, go over there and give the lads all a good support. Shout out to you all for coming on, and obviously engaging with us and asking questions today, because that's what it's about. So thoughts on the season ahead then, Laser, just before we come to an end.
I don't know if you want to put me on the big screen now, Dad.
I'm going to take that off. Just have a bit of a listen first. Thoughts on this season then coming ahead, Laser, why we have you here before we go? We'll obviously
so for me personally, I really enjoyed doing that. Big up to everybody locked in. For me, I think we'll do well this season. Like I said, we've got to remain fit in our players. Keita has had a magnificent pre-season. Whether he can keep fit remains to be seen. If he can keep fit, I reckon he can do the business this season. It's just if he can keep fit. We've got to clear some players away. For me, I think we should probably keep Ox for one more season just to bolster the squad. But I think his days are coming to end as a Liverpool player. All I can say, don't have too much expectation of Ox. A lot of our fan base, I should say, have been criticising him. He is what he is. He's never going to be that player, the player that we signed. You know, the player that played in the 17-18 season.
17-18 season.
That's it, and he got injured against Roma. He won't get back to those heights again. It's just a shame. The injuries have damaged him mentally as well. Well, I think Mane is going to be very hungry. You know, he's been great in pre-season. He's had extended rest. I think Firmino will be back as well. Don't forget, guys, we have missed the Anfield crowd. We've missed them. And you've seen what they did yesterday. Tsimikas looks good. Tsimikas looks good.
He does. Can't believe he's only made 8 minutes, less than 10 minutes Premier League appearances before yesterday. So you have to look at a player that's very inexperienced in the Premier League, you know. And Tsimikas, I mean, it's easy to say now. I think he's as good as a fullback as you'll get there to go in for Robbo. You know, there's no one out there as good as Robbo. And if there was, they're not going to come and sit on the bench for Liverpool. So, we have to just be patient. You know, when I'm going back to Ox, look, it's his birthday today as well, by the way. Happy birthday, Ox. It's 28 today. I seen it, LFC it on Instagram. But, look, if the lads can stay fit, like Mcateer was unbelievable yesterday, his first game. Mcateer could miss 6 months of football, come back and be man of the match. If he stays fit, gives us more options, more reassured. And same with Keita, same with Fabinho, Henderson. They do get injury prone as well. Gomez just gives us more options. And I think we just got to be a bit more patient. And I think what I liked about yesterday was with that intensity, with that energy, but we boxed a bit clever yesterday. We're not doing too much where we're going to get injuries and seize up and run ourselves to the ground. So I think you might see a little bit more of that for this season, a little bit more where
That's
but
what I
just
was
not
saying.
all
Yeah,
out blowing teams
yeah.
away. You know what I mean? I
We're
think
going to
we'll
go
be a
easy
bit
on the
more
pressing. Yeah, the pressing
tactical.
game's not going to be full on. If you notice, Norwich had a lot of the ball yesterday. And I was saying on my live watch along to people, Norwich will run out of steam. This is what Liverpool do. And now that we've got we've bolstered our squad at the back, as long as they can keep fit, I'm pretty certain we will keep a lot of clean sheets. No one's going to get past us. It's whether we can convert at the other end. And I'm pretty certain we'll be up there and about with the likes of Man City and Chelsea. We will.
That's all we can ask for. You know, we'll give a real good account of ourselves, a real good challenge, and we'll see where we go from there then, you know. But confident enough about it ahead, I suppose. But the big issue is going to be just keep as many as those lads fit as possible and be available consistently. Lads are talking there about City and Sports Day. It's going to be a big game, but you'd fancy
I'm
City
live streaming that, guys, on UFC. For those that want to join me and pass by and show me some support.
Right, ladies, I won't hold you too long then if you're going to be going on to that, because that's going to be obviously soon.
I can honestly say I've absolutely enjoyed doing this.
Brother.
I had it in the pipeline for ages. I told you I'd do the graphics.
It was a big one and it went as good as it could as well, so I'm delighted with that.
Thank you, Daz, man. It's been a pleasure.
Subscribe to LAZER LFC TV and obviously like and subscribe to this as well and drop comments in for anybody that hasn't watched the live. Look back on it. And thanks again, lads. Thanks for all the support. And look, just keep it lit and stay positive and enjoy the rest of your Sunday fun day. And I'll catch you all soon. Take care, everybody.
Peace.
Peace out.